Ah, I'm not. I don't know. I just turned it on. How's your feet here? Gotta figure this out. Alright, Mike, we have good audio, good background, all that stuff. Alright, doesn't look like the lag isn't too bad either. Alright, let's check this one out. How's that? Can we see each other? We look good? We sound good? The background audio isn't too bad? Already winning. You're right. Well, I might as well kick over and make this thing public then. It's set to unlisted. Glad I wasn't picking my nose or something, thinking that I was safe. Public. Done. Man, I'm Mr. Technology tonight. Hey, so anybody get some Black Friday stuff going? Some good deals? We stomp anybody in the back? Did we get stomped in the back? Mike, check your text messages. Alright, I'm still getting this stuff together, guys. Oh, here we go. Okay. Alright, Mike, I'm about to fix you up. Put Mike in timeout. You're now in timeout, Mike. Okay, you need to shut the door. Alright, cool. So we're going to let a few people get in, but for you guys that are here already, what we're going to do is we're going to run this probably about an hour. I've got a giveaway to do every 10 minutes. At the end of it, we're going to do the rod. You know, y'all going to hear me repeat this a couple times as people get in here. At the end of it, we're going to do the rod. We're going to do that. What we're going to do to win is I'm just going to ask y'all random questions that you would know throughout my videos and get that done. And then after that, I had somebody call me and offer a pretty awesome deal for the next live stream. I didn't have the bandwidth to give away something at all of the live streams, but hey, we've got some really generous people in the fam, so very excited. We're going to talk about that towards the end of it. Then any questions we have, we're going to kind of format this like the videos I do where it's answering each other's questions on the comments, but we're going to do it live right here so that if I need to elaborate or if somebody else has something to weigh in on, then y'all can get right there, and we can talk about it as a group instead of just me talking to a camera in an empty room. I'm really excited about it. Okay. Mike, I need you to make sure that that super chat works. Denominations of 20, please. Thank you. We got some weather coming in this weekend. We've got some weather. That tide dump that you hear me talk about on YouTube and that you hear us talk about on the Bite Me podcast, it's coming. It's finally here. It's going to be the real deal, it's looking like. Let me pull up the weather and see if it's changed any at all. Let's see here. Matagorda. Sunday. 18 to 26 at noon. 15 to 30 at 6. 15 to 30 all night. 20 to 33 Monday until 3 p.m. The water is going to be gone. Out of here. So if you're the kind of guy that likes to go get in front of some drains or something, Tuesday or Wednesday looks pretty good. If you're the kind of guy that likes to go out and float mid-bay, maybe some birds. The birds should be absolutely on fire the next couple of days. Should be absolutely on fire. Like maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. I don't know if the water's going to clean up that fast. And the water's probably going to be pretty cold too. Hey, Mr. Captron, thanks for the subscription, bud. Always happy to have you. The water should be pretty cold. With that much wind and those temperature drops flowing in and rolling that cold temperature into the water, it should be it. I'm still trying to get. How do you approach for fish? How do you adjust your approach for fishing crappy conditions such as all this rain and ripping wind on the hunt, especially when trying to key in on sight casting to fish? Man, the sight casting just out. It's out. I've been in multiple tournament scenarios where a lot of us that were on redfish were looking to do that sight casting, and the most I've sight casted in is 20 miles an hour. We were sight casting last week in 15, but the fish had to really show itself. But when it's blowing like that, it's putting that ripple in the water's dirty. The sight casting is gonna be tough. You're gonna just have to do a lot of blind casting and whatnot. As far as the rain and the ripping wind, I know y'all hear us talk all the time about. Mike, see if you can change that to public as a moderator. I have it changed to public over on the loading screen. Let me refresh it and see what happens. But you'll find the protected water, and you're just gonna have to fish that. We talk about fishing the windy side. This isn't it. You hear about people fishing the tide dumps, and so what they're doing is they're crossing in these conditions. They're crossing during that front, that 30-mile-an-hour wind, where it's really ripping out, and frankly, it's dangerous, but it's really just ripping that water out of the back lakes, especially on the south shoreline, the west, east, wherever you're at. But the fishing can be really good. It's dangerous. I wouldn't do it unless I would have a hard time doing it in like a 23-foot cat. I'd have a hard time crossing it in that. My 25-foot boat, I would feel okay with it. If somebody has a V-bottom, then when you get to the other side, as far as anchoring up and all that stuff, it turn around, point your nose into it. Take a big anchor with you. Don't try to use your power pole. It's going to swamp the back of your boat. You're going to get stuck over there. But that's what they talk about when they're talking about fishing the actual tide dump. But as far as trying to sight cast and this stuff, it's going to be incredibly difficult. All right, Mike, I'm trying to reload it here for you, man. Mike's my mod. Oh, yeah, it says unlisted again. Mike's my mod. He runs the Texas Fishing Force channel. It's a great channel. He does a lot of kayaking, a lot of instructional stuff. I definitely consider Mike one of my peers when it comes to YouTube. He's really in it to help you guys out and try to cut the learning curve as much as he can. And Mike is also a bit of a computer genius. He all this. Mike came to my house and did it in Photoshop and helped me out. Looks good too. Did a good job. All right, Mike. it should be public at this point. Let me know. So hey, so Black Friday rolled around. I was out for one thing today. I went to Anglers Anonymous and I got the stuff to do the giveaways and everything, and lined up the deal with Laguna to get you guys a rod to be given away. I had one goal at Black Friday, and I did it, y'all. I mean, if that's not a helping of Dos Equis, I don't know what is. There wasn't a single person there either. Black Friday was a huge success. All right. Hey, you be nice to Delaney, Justin. That's my girl. That's my tournament girl. But yeah, I look for the fishing to get pretty phenomenal. The transitions that's getting into it, or the transition the fish have kind of been getting into. Well, this is going to kind of kick them in the butt and make it start happening. They're gonna lose a lot of their water. They're going to have to start concentrating the water. The water should get cold. I don't know. It could get down in the high 50s. It could get down in the mid 50s. It's hard to say until it actually happens. But it could get cold and get it going. Still showing good looking unlisted. Times technology just doesn't work for me. What it's doing is I'm changing it to public. Changing it to public and hitting save. And then whenever I reload it, it's giving me unlisted again. Well, no, it stayed at public that time. See what happens. There's still people being able to join. If it's unlisted, yeah. Somebody let Mike know what they see. Mike, tell him where to see it at because it's over my head. But big trout time. Today I've got for giveaways. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen these. We're about to start putting them in Anglers Anonymous. But they're DOA, and what they are, they're big, like 5 or 6 inch plastics. It's kind of a bass assassin, but it's a tougher plastic, and this tail's got like this loop in it here. So it catches water and it does some pretty neat stuff. It's got a split belly, as does a lot of the DOA plastics, where you can rig them weedless and climb them through shell or grass or anything. I'm going to give away a pretty darn big bag of those. Now, just so you know, I buy these things by the hundreds, so I don't have the fancy bagging for it. You're going to get it in a sandwich bag, but I'm going to give you a lot of lures. Alright, care to offer any tips on how you're operating your trolling motor in skinnier water without spooking fish too bad? Anything special you do to maintain your trolling motor? Also, do you run pre-punched in GPS? And there's the trolling motor's a lot to it. I'm glad you brought that up, Wahoo. It's incredibly important, especially in skinny water. I really started getting to notice that about the trolling motor whenever I started fishing the cleaner water, especially over in Louisiana and whatnot. Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate the $2. Especially over in Louisiana, because I'd be going along in my trolling motor and I think I would be doing really good. I'm being quiet. We're all good. And I would see a fish over there, and I kind of moved to try to catch him, and poof, he's gone. And it took me a while to figure it out. So some of the things that are really important to me with a trolling motor, and especially if the fish are acting spooky, is whenever I get within 40 or 50 yards of those fish, I try to not change direction of my trolling motor. Because that's where I noticed that the fish were really starting to flare away from me, is if my trolling motor was going this way, and then I would kick it like that direction change seemed to really get their attention and spook them when they were spooky. Changing the speed. If you're running on 5 and you start getting close to them and they're 30, 40 feet away from you, and the first thought in your head, because I used to do this a lot, is, man, I've got to turn off my trolling motor, so I don't run into them. And that was a mistake. Whenever that trolling motor changed speeds, that would flare them off. From 5 to off, or from 5 to 3. So what I try to do, and we were doing it with the guys that came with us on Sunday from the Bite Me when we were sight casting those redfish, is I try to anticipate where those fish are going to be at. I don't like to drive to them and as they go chase them. I like to kind of try to intersect them right there. Thanks, Wilson. Appreciate you, bud. I try to intersect them. So that's if they're being finicky, then a lot of forethought is going to go into trying to run those fish down. As far as taking care of it, man, I try not to throw it off the back of my truck more than once a year at 55 miles an hour on the side of the freeway for 4 days. But but no, I just knocked the mud off of it. As far as pre-GPS, no sir. I think what you're asking me is, do I make a track on the GPS and then run it? I think that's what you're asking me, and I don't run a Humminbird, therefore it doesn't talk to it anyway. But so that's the three major things is try to keep the movement of it to a minimum. Try to lost here. Try not to jump the speeds too much, and then of course try not to be dragging bottom or lifting up the top and letting it blow in the water. But I appreciate the question, Wahoo. Thank you very much. Y'all keep them coming. It makes my life way easier if you ask me something. What's up, Colby? How are you, sir? Wilson, will you be giving away the JH? Wilson, the deal I'm going to make you on this boat whenever I sell it is going to be giving it away. It's basically free, man. All right. How can I narrow down hot spots in a marsh that can be 1,000 acres sometime? That's an age-old question there in debate. I'm gonna, me myself, and the rules aren't always the same, and that's something I've been wanting to do a YouTube episode on for a long time. Is the fact that what you're doing is hedging your bets in this game. And those of us that are lucky enough to be out there all the time and see it all and have received instruction from great fishermen, we're just able to hedge our bets a little bit better. It's kind of the equivalent of a professional stockbroker trying to make a bet on a stock than one of us. So but it's not always a sure deal. But whenever I get in the marsh, especially this time of year, I'm really watching for birds sitting on a shoreline. I'm watching for birds hovering. That's the low-hanging fruit. That's the easy answer to it. Historic knowledge on the marshes really seem to help. Putting in your time out there. There's a lot of back lakes that I go to that will cruise the grass and catch fish, and they're good fish. There's other back lakes we go to that we go straight to the middle and fish the middle. If I know there's shell in there, if I know there's some structure in there, I'm probably going to go fish around that shell before I go anywhere else, or in front of drains, anywhere there's good water. So, and in the marsh, redfish will slick, and it's not quite the same as the trout slicks you see out in the bay, but they'll make little light wispy slicks, especially in the spring during shad season. So you really have to put it all together. We've all been in that situation where you're in a huge marsh trying to figure it out. Ross, man, you're an animal. I appreciate it. $20. Well, all right. Thanks for all the info. We have been catching reds by looking for snowies. Man, those snowy egrets are great. I got Mike's working on my tattoos here, and I'm gonna be putting in a feather here and some mapping, and there will be a snowy egret in there somewhere. John, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I mean, that's pretty much it in the marsh. Is just sometimes you'll be cruising along the marsh and you'll see or hear a blow up. I mean, I equivalent it to hunting deer. I really do. I tell my customers that all the time, in that this is hunting for fish. It's the best of both worlds. Hey, we're gonna do a giveaway real quick, because if I don't, we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff at the very end. All right, the first thing we have, I put together some 2 Corky packages. The Corkies that I have now, I did a dirty water, which is what I would consider the hothead, and I did a cleaner water, which is the Texas chicken here. And what we're going to do is, I'm just going to ask you questions. If you've been following the channel at all, you are going to know a lot of them. And then the first person to answer correctly gets the package. I'm going to write your name down on a piece of paper, and then message me on Facebook or my email, or however it is you can get a hold of me. Message me and let me know your address, all that kind of stuff. One thing I do ask y'all, Anglers Anonymous donated a lot of this stuff. If y'all live in the area, you can go pick up your stuff from Anglers Anonymous. I'll send them the details. You can come over there and pick it up. That'd be great. Holy smokes. Wilson, you're giving me a heart attack, buddy. Goodness gracious. All right, so for the 2-pack of Corkies, here we go. Very easy. Everybody should know this. What is my dog's name? Tell me what my dog's name is. You got a pair of Corkies coming your way. All right, Bryce Kane. Hey, what's going on? Connor McClinney. Yeah, Connor agrees. He says it doesn't seem like the fish don't. It seems like the fish don't like that RPM change. Connor fished with me this weekend, Whew, that's a lot of Steves there. Connor fished with me this weekend, and man, we caught some good redfish, and we were noticing the same thing. They were getting really spooky. Mike, find me who did that. Who nailed the first one, Mike? Todd, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Is Terry 107? Is that the first Steve? Will you confirm that for me, Mike? Hey, text it to me on my phone, Mike. It's hard for me to keep up with you on here. This chat is going wild. All right, Colby Bosch, how shallow does your JH25 draft compare to the 23? Colby, I think it's shallower. It has more water displacement. Man, I've taken it in everything my 23 went in, and to be honest with you, I feel like it does it a little bit better. Now, it's hard for me. Hey, Robert, thanks for the 20 bucks, man. I appreciate it. I think you're paying me back for those bugs, but hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you. How shallow? But the boat, it has the extra 50 horses on it, so it helps it jump up and it helps it do a lot more. But I was in a back lake the other day, and there was, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 inches of water over a shell bank, and I was like, oh man, here comes the first scratch on my boat. It's gonna happen, and we floated right over it. So it does really well. It's really not a step down in any way from that 23. It's faster, it's smoother. It does a great job. The draft on it is nice. Typically, the bigger, wider boats, they really do it. Jamie, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate you. We are having a day here. All right. Hey, Chris, how are you, man? Good talking to you. All right, Zachary Lubar, the dump. Maybe a dumb question. Zach, there's never a dumb question. We're all about questions. I'll give you dumb answers for you. You ask a dumb question, I promise. The dump. Maybe a dumb question, but I'm assuming that it's going to bring water out of the north shorelines. If so, where do you stage and what happens to the south shoreline fishing? Again, the water it's rolling out. You know, in my bay and a lot of y'all's bays, you've got the bay, then you've got intercoastal on the north side of it. So yeah, the water is going to be rolling out of the bay through that intercoastal. And I know it sounds stupid because the wind's going directly against the water, but you know, especially here in the middle coast, that northwest wind is going to rip it out. So if you want to stage up on the cuts there, and you can hide inside the north shoreline while the water's rolling out to leave, that could be a good. I'll give you what I do a lot. What I really do a lot is I will get in front of a back lake on the north shoreline. I'll park on the points, on the edges, on the corners of it, and that water is rolling out. When it's rolling out, it's ripping all that shrimp and bait and everything out of there. And I've had many, many, many days where it's a trout every cast. I've never caught big fish. I've caught keepers. I've caught fun fish. I've never caught a lot of big ones, but that works. Now on the south shoreline, it's going to be huge rollers. It's going to be crashing, but that water's still coming out, and there's going to be fish in there too. All right, Ross says, thanks for all the info. We've been catching reds by looking for snowies. I appreciate it, Ross. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity. Those snowy egrets. I had somebody text me earlier today and asked me, Terry 107, Terry, you win the Corkies? Hey, shoot me a message whenever you get a chance with your information. But yeah, those snowies, I had somebody text me earlier. They said that, you know, we've been seeing a lot of snowies. We've been catching fish. And then they asked me about the, I'm losing it here. Y'all guys, this chat's going crazy. The pelicans are just diving and crashing on the other side of the lake. He asked me, what do you do then? And me, myself, this time of year, they're crashing on mullet and stuff like that. But me, I'm not really keen on pelicans too much this time of year. I'm watching for snowies, seagulls, and terns, aka lyrebirds. They don't lie as much. If they're flying in a line and just kind of cruising and making their way, then don't worry about them. But if they're kind of balled up, picking at one spot, that tern can be money. All right. Steve Dickerson, what's up with the money on the comments? I don't know. These people went crazy, Steve. All right. RI1. Wintertime trout fishing. Do you find yourself going to devil tails or fat boys more frequently? And do you try to go to more natural colors? Or are you still making decisions based upon watercolor? I'm a fat boy guy. There's a lot of people that really like the devil tails and the originals. I think I'm going to get more into the soft 9 XLs this year. But I'm a fat boy guy. It's just what I do. I've been throwing that thing for a long time. I like it. That's what I do. As far as the colors, watercolor. If it's if it's kind of dark and dreary and wintry looking, then this red shad here, I really like something like that. If it's kind of in between, then this gold with the chartreuse. Let's see, I got a couple more sitting around here somewhere. The Texas chicken, that's for when I can't make up my mind. It's pink, pearl, and chartreuse. I love pearl, I love chartreuse, I love pink. So any kind of combination of that, even if the water's a little bit off color, I'll still throw it. And then this is a real good off color water. Usually, whenever you have a vertical transition in color, then it's going to give that lure, the fish are going to be able to see it a little bit better in that water. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to throw Fat Boys, and I'm going to go off the watercolors. Now down south, as far as like Baffin and all that stuff, then I get more into like the greens and the more natural stuff. Up here, Matagorda, Galveston, I like the flashier stuff. All right, Kenneth Setzer, how long while waiting do you work out an area before moving? You're gonna find out, Kenneth. You're gonna find out real soon when you come fish with me. Man, it's all on feel. It really is. If I've got water movement and I've got bait and things are looking good, then I'm gonna stay there. If it's dead and I don't feel like anything's coming, if I don't have a bite window or I don't see bait starting to ramp up or I don't see the tide starting to happen, then I'd probably move and move on to something different. But we're gonna cover that real good when you get in the boat with me. And especially big trout fishing, it's a lot of feel. It's a gut feeling. You got to listen to your gut. I would rather be somewhere waiting for those fish to come to me than I would go somewhere hoping I land on them. Because if I go somewhere hoping I land on them and they just moved out, then I don't have a shot. But if I'm somewhere where they might move in, then I do. All right. Doug Allen, when is the best time to fish after a front? Doug, right now, like I've covered in a couple of my videos, right now with the birds working and the shrimp and everything going, I'll fish the day after. We had some really good days after big winds over the past couple of weeks. Whenever the shrimp are kind of blowing out of the bays when the water's cold and they're gone, the first 2 days after the front are notoriously bad. They just are. Sometimes they're good, but they're notoriously bad. So 3 to 4 days after a front is what I would say. All right. John Bracewell, need some tips for raining after a night of rain. It's pouring here in Victoria and planned on running sea drift tomorrow. Oh, need some tips for running after a night of rain, maybe. Man, John, it's not much different. Wear your rain jacket. I don't know what it's blowing like down there. I don't know if it's going to be tore up or rough. I know over there around sea drift it can get pretty bumpy on you, especially with a northwest wind. I've experienced a couple of tournaments at that location in those conditions, and it's tough. But and I don't think it's going to rain a whole lot tonight, so I don't think it's going to change it up a lot for you. All right, Daniel Osborne. I find all these beautiful spots in the back marsh and the water is jumping. Bait going everywhere and wakes going back and forth. The only fish I see are big mullet. Am I just being fooled? So, it takes a little bit of... Hey, Daniel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It takes a little bit of training your eyes to this. If you're seeing wakes starting around and going everywhere and little and you know squirrels and everything, and those wakes are kind of shooting around, they're little V's. That's often mullet. I mean, big mullet, little mullet. It's often mullet. A redfish makes a bigger, more defined wake. It's often kind of rounded in the front, and it goes in a straight line for the most part. Redfish don't dart. So that's often a way that you can tell the difference between the redfish and the mullet is the absence of darting around. Whew. I need a drink of water already. Todd Cox, thank you again for the $4.99, bud. I'm working down these comments, guys. We're gonna get there. Hey, let's give something else away. All right, what we have here. Hey, Steve, thank you so much for the $10, man. I appreciate it. What we have here, again, y'all probably haven't seen these before, but DOA has a plastic that I deem to be a good big trout bait. They come in some amazing colors. This one here is pink with a silver belly. And then the other ones I have here are purple with blue flakes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put together a package of about 20 of these. I'm going to put a handful of all of my favorite ones in there. I'm going to send them to you. So again, as we did before, we're going to ask a question. If you answer it, you're getting it. And this one, kind of giving it away already. What is my favorite brand of plastics? There's one plastic that I talk about all the time. I use a bunch, but there's one that I'm always into. Hit me with that. You win something. Mike, help me out, bud. Now bear with me just 1 second here. All right, Jesse Guetta. I'm from South Texas, Jesse. I can say that. Guetta. Do you ever change out the trebles in your corks to something more durable to prevent hooks from bending, like the Owner Stinger trebles 3X strong, or does that mess up the sink ratio big time? Jesse, I'm not going to say it messes it up big time. Maybe it messes with the action. It depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about like a number 2 O'Shaughnessy, like you're going to see on a one knocker or a skitterwalk, then it's a little bit more weight. It might mess with that corky's cadence. The reason that I don't change it out to anything but the number 4 BMC round bend trebles is up here I'm around a lot of shell. I get that corky hung up on a shell or something, I can straighten that hook out and get my corky back. I run my drag really loose, especially, Kenneth, thank you so much for the 20, bud. I appreciate it. I run my drag really loose, so those fish, they're way less likely to straighten out that hook on me. A big trout is kind of hey, Deer Killer, welcome, man. Thanks for the subscription. Those big trout, it's just a well-known thing that you want to run a loose drag because their mouths tear. They can shake them out easier. I'd rather run a loose drag and keep tension on the fish than a tight drag and be playing tug-of-war with it. So that's why I don't. I don't see any big reason why you couldn't switch out to a little bit stouter hook. Just don't get crazy with it. You know, the 3X should be fine. Just try to stay with the number 4 if you can. All right, Nicholas Lambkin. He says Steve. Man, you were on it, Nicholas. Jim J named me as your dog. Awesome. All right. Todd Cox. When you have a lot of blows but no takers, what do you switch to in order to make them eat? Todd, if we're talking about trout, I'm going with the corky. Yeah, I'm gonna do it every time. If we're talking about redfish, then I'm gonna move to a wake bait or a plastic. If I'm getting blow-ups but no hookups, that wake bait's probably where we're going next, and I'm gonna bet you a couple of my peers will agree with me on that one. Bradley Dickey, I think. I did a report on our trip on Tuesday. What's up with the striking out waiting on Tuesday? Was it just they wanted shrimp only and any tails, corkies, etc. were no bueno? Tuesday. I'm trying to wrap my head around Tuesday was. I want to say Tuesday, this Tuesday, it was absolutely nuking wind, and the barometer was probably up and a little bit wonky. Bradley, you just don't win them all, man. It's that simple. Me, Jay Watkins, Ernest Cisneros, we don't win them all. Neither do you guys. There's no reason to beat yourself up about it. Just, try to learn something about the area, walk around, get your feet on some shell, learn something about that. Move on to the next one, bud. Texas Saltwater Life. TFF caught a mahi-mahi 25 miles from out of Port A on Thursday, 46 inches, 18 pounds. That's awesome. My favorite meal in the world is mahi-mahi sashimi. Corey Ryan, what up, man? What up, man? Kobe says the Outlaw is my dream boat one day. I want to come demo them with you when I can afford it. Hey, come on. I'm all about boat rides. I like driving that thing. I like driving it fast. All right, into bait fishing. You win the DOAs. Matthew, I got your information. Congrats, man. I'll bring those to you whenever I come down. All right, let's see here. I'm trying not to miss any questions here. This thing is going crazy. Moving on back up. Okay, here we go. What should we focus on in December as far as fishing? Mike, I'm going to do a whole video on that. December is not going to be much different than November, except we're going to start watching water temps then. When we start watching water temps, then, it's going to give you cues on when you might want to go wade some of your spots, do something like that. But we're going to do a whole video on that, Mike, and it's going to be here pretty soon. Legacy Outdoors, where would you take a kayak to fish the dump on Sunday, and would that be safe in high winds? Legacy, I don't know where you're at, but if you will message Texas Fishing Force or one of us, dang, John, you're going crazy, man. $50, I appreciate you, bub. Beer money for the podcast. Don't forget your mask. I went like this in the store today. Send me a message on the side after this is over, Legacy, and we'll figure out where you're at. And Mike's the one that can help you with that. He knows a lot more kayak trails than I do. I wish I could help you, but I don't. Okay. Texas Saltwater Life, doing an epic day with the first cold front in Corpus on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it, man. Train 98K, what's up, buddy? Alright, what type of... Okay, Wahoo Man, what type of gear do you normally bring with you for a tournament day of long hauls in the way of rods, reels, and baits? Are you typically glued to one bait? How long do you wait to switch? On tournament day, especially red fishing, I'm going to bring 4 rods. One's going to have a topwater, one's going to have a plastic, one's going to have a plastic with a spinner on it, and one is going to have a popping cork. I may change that up and make sure I have a wake bait on one. I probably won't. The topwater is only for when we get ourselves in a bind. I'm not going to throw that topwater very much on tournament day. I'm going to throw that plastic, I'm going to throw that popping cork, and I'm going to throw that spinner bait a whole lot. How long do I wait to switch? If I know that there's fish around and I'm not getting bit, that's probably when I'm going to switch. If I'm throwing my popping cork and I see them moving, I'm going with that plastic. Trout tournaments, I'm bringing 2 rods. I'm bringing 1 rod I'm going to use all day, and I'm using and a backup, because if we're fishing a trout tournament, we're waiting. As far as that goes, one thing I do across all tournaments is I make sure everybody on my team is throwing something different. You know, a plastic, a corky, and a topwater, or something like that. And then when somebody has some success on one, then we're probably going to move to that lure. Other than that, you know, again, it's a gut thing. Oh, Connor McClenny, you had mentioned on the boat that the color pattern on one of the reds was a schooling fish. Can you explain the colors of the redfish? Often, a schooling fish is more lit up. He's going to be darker. He's going to be prettier than your standalone solo fish. The standalone solo fish, they're usually, you know, a little bit more washed out and whatnot. So that was what I meant by that, Connor. If we catch a fish that's real dark and lit up, then, hey, Johnny, I appreciate it. If we catch that fish that's really lit up, then I'm expecting more fish to be around him. Got some fellas on here. Soft 9XL is legit. It's good. And it's really easy to work. It really is. Do you use a leader with Fat Boys? I do if I'm going to use that Fat Boy all day long. If I know I'm not going to plastics or anything else, or I'm planning on really grinding that Fat Boy, I do use a leader. I mostly want to keep it out of the split rings and out of that stuff. That's why I'm using it. I don't really prescribe to the fact that fish can, you know, really, oh my goodness, there's braid tied to the front of that lure. What are we going to do? I don't really prescribe to that, but I do like it to keep it out of the split rings. Oh, John says, Texas chicken is my go-to. You bet, man. It's for when I can't make up my mind. Jordan Windsor, I'm familiar with spinnerbaits in freshwater, but not in salt. Can you explain the differences in how you use it? It's no different, Jordan. It's really not. I don't throw them a lot for trout. I throw them for redfish, and fishing for a redfish is incredibly similar to fishing for a bass. There's really no difference. I throw it out. I straight retrieve it. If it's right there and they're not taking, I might bump it. But I'm gonna throw it out and straight retrieve it. It's pretty solid. All right. Wilson says he gave money to put shoes on Steve and Cade. Also, Wilson's one of my regulars. Wilson, he also bought a 12-volt electric blanket for Steve. So pretty caring guy. Do you ever do any open boat trips like Arison does for 200 person? I don't. I don't. You know, I stay pretty busy. The closest thing I do to that is sometimes I have a person that had their party back out on them, and they'll ask me, hey, we still want to go. We can't afford it by ourselves. Can you find us somebody? And at that point is whenever I usually go with one of my regulars. You know, I call one of my regulars that I know that he's going to get along with this guy, and that's how I do that. All right. Hey, let's give something away. We've been live 44 minutes. All right. Again, got another Corky pack. I've got a kind of a cleaner water lure, and I've got one of my absolute favorites. It's overcast. It's dirty. You know, we're in it for the big girl, the old red shad. That's a good one. Here we go. Y'all know the rules. I'm going to ask the question. First person that gets it gets the answer. Mike, help me out. Whenever I close my video, I always say something. What do I say? All right, off we go. Well, this chat's about to go crazy. I'm gonna lose stuff. All right. Ooh. John Parko said the live video is working excellent. Well done. John, I'm just as surprised as you are. I figured I was going to do something terrible and have to freak out and go unplug it from the wall. Hey, Ross, yes. Grundon should make a K9 portfolio. They're missing out on a market there. All right, Rolando Garza, what's your favorite paddle tail to throw at Baffin Bay on a cold, overcast day? Man, DOA makes a 4-inch cow shad with a purple back, gold belly, and a chartreuse tail. That's probably my favorite one. I like purples and flashy stuff. I like that down in Baffin as well. Rich Burkholder, take a breath, Captain. Yeah, you're telling me, man. I'm dying of thirst. I have some drinks right here beside me. I haven't been able to get to them yet. Nicholas Lampkin, how do I convince my fiance to let me buy a boat before we get married? Why are you trying to convince her, Nicholas? Just buy it, man. She's already committed. If she's already made plans, told the wife and the mom and the friends, she's in it. You're good, bub. Just go for it. All right. What do you think of the Z-Man trout trick lures? Jason, I haven't used a Z-Man. I think those are the ones that are like really stretchy and they won't break. I haven't used them. If I don't have an honest answer, man, I'm just not gonna be able to give you one. Here, Fishy, is fishing good before, after a hurricane? Man, every hurricane is different. They're all different. Daniel and I, the tournament that sealed the deal for us to go to the World Series was during Laura, and the fishing was pretty good. It was windy, but it was good. There's other times, I think after Hurricane Ike, it was absolutely phenomenal, and I was fishing the mouths of drains and stuff with all the water rushing out. Other hurricanes, Harvey, all it did was flood everything, and it made things really difficult. All right. Wahoo Man, do you find yourself going way off in the back, off the beaten path to catch fish and not showing people the fish you're catching, or do you fish open stuff on the bay without a care about that? I do both. I do both. I go way back in the back off the beaten path. It's mostly because I want to find fish that haven't been messed with. That's the biggest answer. I am careful about my photographs. I do it. I'm not super snobby, maybe a little bit, but not super snobby. But I have friends and tournament partners. Hey Sean, thank you so much, bub. Can't wait to see y'all here in a little bit. I have friends and tournament partners that I fish that stuff with, so I'm really trying to respect them more so than, oh man, I don't want anybody to find out where this is at. Mid-bay stuff, man, I'm out there. I have people slide up to me and we talk and listen to the radio together. So, I mean, a little bit of everything. Oh, I see Intubate Fishing put DIA. Matthew, you are disqualified, sir. Alright. I see a bunch of catch-alls on the next ones, Mike. I hope that one. Alright, Rolo, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Alright, let's see. Yep, haha, just buy it. Drink a Dos Equis, man. Connor, I have what I'm drinking right now is a fiber shake with extra kale in it. And barley. There might be some barley in it. And some hops. Could be some hops. Alright, catch you on the next one. Who got it first, Mike? Was it Wahoo? Did Wahoo get it? Looks like Wahoo got it to me. Johnny, thanks for the $10, man. I appreciate it. Alright, Justin. Let's see. I missed a question here from Justin, I believe. How much to take a trip tubing in East Bay? It can often be free, Delaney. Delaney and I were fishing East Bay, and there was somebody tubing in the middle of it. It's one of the wildest things I've ever seen. When underburns, is it better to drift over them again and again or spot lock trolling motor? It depends on what they'll let you do, Zach. If they'll let you spot lock on them and they're just working right there, then yeah, don't go through them. If they break up or just start sitting, that's whenever I'll drift through them. When do you switch from the small paddle tail plastic to larger plastic? I've moved to larger plastics whenever the water gets colder and the smaller bait kind of disappears and gets away. Troy Bowser says, frustrated lately, seem to get skunked a lot, even though I'm fishing moving water, points, drain, structure. The only thing I can't find much is bait or birds. Man, like I said, Troy, it's just part of it. You know, maybe you're not around fish, maybe it's just not the right time. You know, the stuff like that. You don't win them all, bub. All right. Joe Garcia, water temps. Is there a temperature of the water where you don't even bother fishing? There's water temps whenever I don't want to fish. During the Legends in 2017, y'all seen Pat Gardner on the channel with me. Pat and I think we won 6th in that tournament. I think we were probably the only team that fished in the bay. The water temperature was 46, and we were averaging 6.5 pound trout. So, I mean, if we got to, we got to. But if the water's super hot, I'm going to fish early in the morning, I'm going to fish late in the evening, I'm not going to mess around during the daytime. If the water's cold, 50 to 80, I'm going. A. Roberson, have you thought about doing some shows with your sponsors like Chris Williamson at Laguna Rods? Yes, I absolutely have. We have some stuff in the works. That is going to happen. Toby Bosch, is it just me or has it been a less than stellar fall? Seems like we've been fishing a summer pattern more so than a fall pattern. November hasn't really done the thing that it was supposed to. It hasn't given us that big front with the dead spot and then the 4 or 5 days of dead and the big front. It's been a little bit off. The fishing's been decent, but it hasn't gotten really nuts yet. I'm hoping that's going to happen in December. When do you think the best time to throw bigger baits during big trout season? Thanks. When that water gets cold. When that water hits 60 and gets lower, you're going to start seeing less and less bait flipping around everywhere. You can see one big one every now and again. That's whenever I'm going to the big baits. Now, that being said, I'll throw big baits year round, but whenever I'm really like, okay, this is what we're going to do today, that's the time. Jace says, yo, Jace. So with Chris Stansberry says, so with the dump day coming up, is the idea to sit at the entrance of a marsh or sit in the gut at the back of ponds that tend to hold fish? What I'm talking about, Chris, is I will get in the intercoastal, and as that water dumps into the intercoastal, there's often trout and whatnot right there waiting on it. It's usually accompanied by a raging group of birds. Texas Saltwater Live. How do you fish a cold front day? Depends on how strong the front's going to be, man. I like to be where I think the fish are going to bite long before the front and fishing up to the front and a little bit during the front. That's what I like to do. Oh, Justin Riverson, what up? Watch you on the regular. Oh, he's talking to Sticks. Yeah, what's up, Sticks? Do you ever fish Far East like around Mitchell's Cut? Yeah, no, I fish. There's really nowhere I don't fish around there, so absolutely. Chris and Caleb Butler, where did you get that cool cup? Let me tell you where I got this cool cup. I got this cool cup at Anglers Anonymous. And it looks like it's got like redfish stuff on it. And like I said, I've got a nice barley kelp smoothie in here. Dylan Duplant, what is your favorite lure to ever get bent on? Topwater, man. Everybody knows topwater. Topwater. Yes, topwater. Taylor and I were out a little while back, and Taylor was getting blow-ups that were like 4 feet in diameter. I saw a redfish hit his topwater so hard that it bird nested his reel. True story. Saw it happen. All right. Hey, let's give some more stuff away. What we have here are my 2 favorite MirrOlure Little John packs. This is the Purple Demon. This is the, I don't even know what it's called. I call it looks like a shrimp. Blue Moon Chartreuse Tail. It's hard to tell, my light's going crazy on this one. This is like a silver glitter. And the question is, oh, this is gonna, hey, this might jam some of y'all up. What is my redfish tournament partner's name? He's the guy, he did a couple of videos with me whenever I started my YouTube. He's going to the World Series with me. Give me his name. Get you some MirrOlures. Oh. What's your favorite spinnerbait for reds? The Bad Marine, by far. It's got a heavy wire. It's got a great little spoon on it. It's awesome. The Bad Marine's what I use. I throw the dimpled ones or the smooth ones. I really haven't, gotten too much into it. Biggest freshwater lake I've ever caught. I don't know, man. I've caught a couple of big bass, but I haven't freshwater fished since I was probably 20, 21 years old. Steve Violet said that I went a roof. Hey, play me a song, Steve. I'll get you a roof. Wahoo! Where do you get some wading boots and waders for Cade? My son and daughter are dying to go with me. And I don't know the waders that I got. They were given to me. I don't even know where to get them at. I would assume you'd try to get like a small women's size or something. All right. But when you guys answer it, it makes the chat go crazy and I have to go out and find stuff. So if I miss your question, I'm sorry. We're gonna do this again for sure. Danny Osborne, I use leaders on everything. Are there certain instances where I should go straight to braid? Hey Mike, I hope that Chance is watching this. I hope Chance is watching this. Danny, if you are fishing for redfish, please don't use a leader. Please don't do it. Ask Chance what happens when you do it. Big fish, go bye-bye. You can use a leader anytime you want, man. You can. There's no reason to not use a leader other than you've got to retie a leader every now and again. So I don't think there's any instance where you should go to straight braid. Oh. Would you guys have any use for the live scope type stuff on saltwater fish? Yes, if I'm fishing rivers or jetties. If I'm fishing that deep stuff, I would have use for it, but it's so expensive that it doesn't make sense for me to have it. All right, I got to roll down the questions here, guys. Kobe Bosch, on cold front, have you ever driven on the beach by the south shoreline east of Matagorda to avoid the rough water of the post front? Kobe, I haven't. I haven't. Might be a good idea. The trouble is you're gonna have to get out there and walk into those waves, turn around and fish back with that wind. But I haven't done that. No. Justin Livingston, he says Daniel. Redfish Rick says what's up? What's up? All right, I think Justin got it. I'm gonna have to have Mike confirm that. All right, let's move on down. Man, time is flying, guys. Have you ever fished any bass, squarebill, crankbaits, and shell areas with any luck? In deeper water, yes. Robert Jones was just at my house, and he was looking through my stuff. He tried to put some of this stuff in my pocket. Come on, baby. But yeah, I've got. That's not a squarebill, but let's see. Those are both squarebills. Those are 5 to 8s. Yeah. I throw squarebills quite a bit in deeper water. Yes, sir. All right. If you're catching small trout only, what do you do? Keep catching, change bait, or move? CRJ, if I'm drifting, especially under birds, I'm going to fish a little bit deeper, see what happens. If I'm waiting and we're just catching small ones, I'm probably going to move. I might only move 50 yards, though. I got a 31.5-inch trout from Baffin Bay. We were catching little fish after little fish after little fish and moved 50 yards and caught a 31 and multiple over 28 there. It was a good time. All right, let's see. What's your favorite super spooking color? Baby trout, maybe. Pink and gold. That's always a good one. Do you throw spoons better, and is there a better time of year? I would say the spoons are probably good with the shad time. I don't throw spoons a lot. It's just not my thing. Robert says, haha, I needed those crankbaits. Spoons just aren't my thing, man. I don't throw them that much. All right, we are coming up on an hour. So, let's talk about the Laguna rod that we're going to give away. And then, after that, don't go away, because we've got another big something I want to tell you about for the next one. So, the Laguna, it's a custom rod. It's a $350 rod, recoil eyes. You set it up how you want it. If you want to call me and ask me how I would do it, come on with it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask the question. Whoever gets it gets it. Again, Mike's gonna catch you. Get me your information. I will get you hooked up with Laguna. We will get this rod ordered. Big thanks to Laguna for sponsoring this. A big thanks to English Anonymous for all the stuff that they brought in. So here we go for the Laguna custom rod of your choice. And I'm bashing myself a little bit, and you're gonna have to think about it for a second. But I made a video telling you what happened. I had 3 videos where my audio absolutely sucked. Everybody yelled at me and told me that they couldn't hear me. You know, I got in all kinds of trouble. Does anybody remember why my audio was bad? What mistake did I make that my audio was bad? You hit me with that, you get you a free Laguna rod. All right, Redfish Rick, I know you're not a spinning reel guy, but do you recommend... Whew, Connor coming in hot. Look at him go! I saw that happen. Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm completely flattered that many people knew this. Brooks, welcome. Thank you for the subscription. I'm flattered. I thought none of y'all are gonna know that. Connor, congrats, man. It looks like you're the man. Again, I'm gonna have Mike confirm for me. All right, Redfish Rick, I know you're not a spinning reel guy. Can you recommend a spinning reel that outcasts all the others? I use 2 different spinning reels in my boat. I have some old Shimano Stratics that I still use. I really like them. And then I have some Lew's, I think they're custom inshore spinning reels. Those are all really good stuff. So I really, you know, both of them, I really like them. All right. Boy, everybody knew where I screwed up, man. We got the whole sorry video about it. I did. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, wrong hole. Danny, family stream, sir. Let's see. All right. Jacob Hellum said I must be way behind. People are answering correctly before you even ask the question on my screen. Man, it might be an internet thing. Oh, Mike. Hey, Connor won the Laguna rod. I'm pretty sure, Mike. Yeah, Robert. Hey, Robert, I think something was wrong with the audio. I got that camera from Robert, and I called him. I was upset that I thought there was something wrong with the audio, and there was. It was me. All right. Sticks says, Merry Christmas. Hey, Sticks, I've had several people tell me that you sent them over, and I really appreciate it, man. Sticks has a YouTube channel as well, guys. All right, so here we go. We are at 1 minute and 1 hour and 1 minute. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell y'all about what we have going on for the next live stream. I want to do this about once a month. I had a great time. I feel like we've been doing this for 5 minutes, man. It's crazy. All right, let's see. I got to find the information here. All right, so guys, I'm setting all this up. I'm making the calls. I'm making the post on Facebook, and I get a text from a fella, from a guy named Chris. And Chris says, man, I want to donate something to the stream. And I'm going to be honest, I don't accept a lot of the stuff that I get offered, mostly because I can't accept everything. And I don't want some people feeling like, you know, they're getting left out. Because like I said, this is our channel. This is the family here. But I said, Chris, what are you thinking? Chris messaged me. So what we're doing on the next stream is pretty cool. And I just want to read it. So Yellowstone Landscaping and Caddy Visions Photography would like to sponsor a full-day guided trip with Captain Caleb, coupled with a bonus of professional photography documenting the whole trip. So they're going to pay for the trip for 2 of y'all to come on the boat with me, and then they are coming as professional photographers to take pictures and just, you know, give you some cool stuff. So that's really neat. We're going to do that on the next live video. It's going to be before Christmas. We're going to do that. It is going to be... I'm excited. You know, I've never gotten a chance to, you know, have the photographers and all that stuff on there. So I'm really excited about it. And I you know, big thanks to Chris. I'm going to get the information. I'm going to get further information about the landscaping company, because if I've seen any of you give back to a family, you know, or our group, man, y'all give to each other. I've been reading, I don't know how many comments we've had. There hasn't been one amount of disrespect, anything. It's been great. You guys, y'all flatter me. I love it. I'm really happy to decide to do this kind of stuff with, and you guys are the one to make it happen. So, Mike, thank you so much for modding this thing. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Justin Livingston, blooper trip on the reel. There'll be a blooper trip. Hey, let's do it again. Thanks to everybody, and we will catch you on the next one.